Lancaster County, Pennsylvania is an incredibly desirable place to live, and in this video we are going to be touring some of the top, most desirable neighborhoods that we as real estate professionals get comments and questions about all the time, and we're breaking down those top 6 neighborhoods right now. Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Matt Moore with the Moore Group. We are a real estate team based right here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We are helping people all the time who are moving to or relocating within right here in Lancaster County. And again, in this video, we're going to be touring the top 6 neighborhoods here in the Lancaster County area. These are neighborhoods that we get calls and comments about all the time. People that are looking to move to these areas or relocate within Lancaster County to some of these neighborhoods. We're going to be talking about each of these neighborhoods in detail, breaking down the pros and the cons of these neighborhoods. Now, I'll get to the video and all of that in just one second. We'll get inside the truck, go drive around. But first, I just want to say this. Because we are helping people all the time who are moving to relocating within right here in Lancaster, we'd love to get in touch with you as well. If that's you, if you're looking into the Lancaster area for a possible move, let's get in touch. Here is our contact information right here up on the screen. You can call us, text us, email, doesn't matter. Smoke signal, carrier pigeon, as I always say, it doesn't matter. We'd love to get in contact with you. I also invite you to check out our website, themoregroup.lancaster.com. You can find out what we're all about. And of course, at the end of this video, we're going to have a lot more information on how you can get a hold of us. So be sure to stay tuned all the way through the video and watch all the way to the end so we can get that contact information for you. All right, enough of this. You're here for the information. That's what I want to provide for you. So let's hop in the truck and go take a look around. All right, so we're on the road, driving throughout Lancaster County, touring some of these neighborhoods, and I just want to preface this video by saying this. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not a comprehensive list of every single neighborhood here in Lancaster County. These 6 neighborhoods are basically some of the most popular that we've seen anecdotally from our real estate team here in Lancaster County, and some neighborhoods that we're in quite often, helping people search for homes in. We rank these in no particular order. Doesn't mean that they're best to worst, but you got to stay tuned all the way to the end because the last neighborhood is one of our favorites in the entire county, so make sure to tune in for that one. But again, this is a list of homes and neighborhoods that we feel are generally popular and have a lot of wide-ranging aspects about them. We're going to go into the suburbs, we're going to go into Lancaster City, and we're going to go to some of the more rural locations as well to pinpoint some of the neighborhoods that we get a lot of calls about. So without further ado, let's go to our first neighborhood on the list, and that's Mondamin Farms. This roughly 200-home, fantastic neighborhood is located right off Highway 222 for easy access to all of what Lancaster County has to offer. From downtown Lancaster, the travel time is about 15 minutes, making it a superb location. Now, driving through Mondamin Farm, one thing that really stands out is every house is essentially different. It's unique in its own way. It's a very mature neighborhood, lots of big mature trees. The neighborhood's been around for a while, well established, and going on neighborhood walks, there's a lot of little outlets and little roads you can go down to turn your afternoon walk or jog into miles essentially of being able to wind through. And really, as you go through, you're going to be seeing a lot of things that are different as you do so. So a lot of uniqueness to it and much more mature. The homes themselves range in age. Some of them were built in the earlier 1900s, and then some of them are a little bit more modern and updated. Now, some of the bad things associated with this neighborhood tend to lie in the fact that there's just very little turnover here. Rarely do homes come on the market here in Mondamin Farms. Looks like a lot of the people who are moving into this neighborhood in particular are, generally speaking, people who are going to be settling down for quite some time. Not necessarily folks that are looking to downsize, upsize, or anything like that. It's sort of a neighborhood where you kind of come into and you sit in for a little bit. So 1 to 2 homes per year, pretty common to come up in the neighborhood. It's not a huge neighborhood by any stretch of the imagination. But that being said, it does offer definitely the unique charm of some of the older colonial style homes or even homes in general. that you've just never really seen a whole lot before. Now, one thing that's great about this neighborhood is that it does back up to the Conestoga River. You're not going to be worried about flooding issues in this neighborhood, so if you do move here, but you do get the advantage of being in an area that's very close to the Conestoga River, so you have the nice scenic views. There's also a horse farm nearby where you can board your horse if you have one, or get some riding lessons. And here's one of my favorite parts about this neighborhood, and it has to do with this covered bridge, which we are going into right now. As you're exiting the neighborhood on the eastern side, you go through this one-lane covered bridge. You can see it as I'm driving through here. And really, it's just a beautiful way to come in and out of the neighborhood if you're headed to the eastern part of the county. Now, you're going to be paying for a neighborhood like this. In fact, you'll probably be expecting to pay more than $600,000 for a home here in Mondamin Farm. And there have been a few that have gone for over $1 million in this neighborhood. So yes, while it is a small neighborhood and homes very rarely do they come on the market, if they do, plan on and prepare for there to be other people who are also interested in a home here in the Mondamin Farm area, and it could get a little pricey for you too. Out of the suburbs and into downtown Lancaster for this next neighborhood. Featuring old historic charm and a city feel, Chestnut Hill is perfect for those looking for a great mix of downtown vibes with a tight-knit neighborhood feel. So in Lancaster City, you can really divide the city itself into 4 quadrants: northwest, southwest, northeast, and southeast. And in the northwest quadrant lies Chestnut Hill, which is where we are currently driving through, and it is in Lancaster City, which is an incredibly vibrant city. It's lively, there's a lot going on, and in particular in Chestnut Hill, there's a very great combination of not only residential, but also some mixed use and some commercial ongoing, as well as proximity to Franklin and Marshall College, which is where we're driving through as we speak here. A lot of row homes here in downtown Lancaster, and at least in this area, there's a lot of them that are absolutely stunning, beautiful architecture. And in many cases, a lot of these had been fixed up, updated, and they're just absolutely stunning homes to live in or to be around, especially if you like walking around and just checking out the architecture and things like that. So that's certainly a pro or a positive with living in the Chestnut Hill area. The other side to it too is you can walk out your front door and you can walk down Walnut Street or Chestnut Street in the morning, go grab a cup of coffee from one of the many cafes. Rachel's Creperie is one of our faves when it comes to breakfast food items. You can get some crepes there that are just unbelievable, really good stuff. So again, it's one of those environments that definitely conducive to that. There's also a bunch of little corner shops and markets and things like that that you can explore. And for full-fledged restaurants, there's a few of them here in the Chestnut Hill area. Some of our favorites include Luca and of course Iron Hill Brewery, which is over in the Franklin and Marshall College area. So there's just a lot going on in the Chestnut Hill area. I'll say this though, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. There are certainly some good, there's some bad. And when it comes to the bad, I would say probably it's more so related to parking when it comes in the Chestnut Hill area. There's not a lot of opportunities in Chestnut Hill for properties that have off-street parking. So that would be properties with garages or at least places where you don't have to park your car on the street. And if you do move into a property or purchase a property that does not have off-street parking, you're going to be battling for some of that parking across the area. Now, home values in Chestnut Hill can range anywhere from around $200,000 to $250,000. And then for more of a move-in ready home that's got a lot of updates and upgrades, especially with off-street parking, you're probably looking north of $400,000, maybe even north of $500,000 to live in the Chestnut Hill area. There are some exceptions to this rule, of course, both on the lower side and on the higher side of things when it comes to property values, but just something to keep in mind. Living in downtown Lancaster, and particularly living in the Chestnut Hill area, you're going to be paying a little bit more of a premium in Lancaster City than you would really anywhere else. Still in Lancaster Township, but outside the city limits, sits one of the more unique neighborhoods in all of Lancaster County. Next up is School Lane Hills, where charm and character meets a mature and, yes, historic neighborhood. All right, so we're inside School Lane Hills, which is a neighborhood just west of Lancaster City, not in the city limits, but in Lancaster Township technically. And if you are, again, similar to Mondamin Farm, if you're looking for mature trees, you're looking for a great place to walk the dog, go take a jog, all sorts of other things, and unique charm and character to every house, you'll find it here in School Lane Hills. There's no question about it. Now, this is an area, again, just outside of Lancaster City. So property tax rates are still, at least in most of School Lane Hills, are still subject to some higher millage rates. So property taxes here a little bit higher than they are in some of the outlying locations. So something to keep in mind, but you really can't beat the location when it comes to proximity to downtown Lancaster, getting into the city itself. There really can't be beat. It's literally couple of minutes drive, and you're right smack in the middle of downtown, but you're far enough away that it certainly does not feel like a city. Feel like you're more out into the suburbs in well-established neighborhoods. Now, the homes in School Lane Hills range in age in which they were built. There are some here that were just built, brand new construction, and you find them occasionally as you're driving through some of these roads. But for the most part, these homes have been around for on the order of about, we'll call 50 to 100 years, generally speaking. Cedar shake shingles or slate roofs are pretty common here in the School Lane Hills area. And Lancaster Country Day School is bordering right in the School Lane Hills area too. So if you're looking for a private school, and a great private school, that is certainly one of the most renowned here in Lancaster County, and certainly in the Lancaster City area too. Now, the homes in here range. It's not like every single home is massive and is an estate. There are certainly homes that are like that here in School Lane Hills, but that's not always the case. There are some that are much more modest, including small little ranchers and homes that are anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet. And you can get into this neighborhood for less than $400,000 on occasion. Now, if you're looking for something with a little bit more size, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet, you're probably going to be north of $600,000 to $700,000. And there are some homes in this neighborhood that have sold for over $1.5 million. So just keep that in mind. There's a wide range, but that's what makes it so great. It's an eclectic mix and diverse neighborhood with a lot going on in terms of one home to the next. So again, if you're doing that walking, if you're trying to look around and see what different parts of the neighborhood have to offer, if you just want some eye candy as you're doing your jog, School Lane Hills is a great place to be. Now, there is a part of School Lane Hills that is in the Hempfield School District. You have to go across the Little Conestoga River in order to get into that, which will be lower property tax values, but similar types of feels of homes, a little newer on the homes, built more than so in the mid to later 1990s, or mid to later 1900s. But as you can see, the homes, generally speaking, in this area have a lot of maturity to them. Now, some of them may need some updating. You know, that's certainly not something you can avoid in some of these older homes, but it is, you know, the charm, the character, you really can't find it anywhere else. Now, back to the suburbs of Lancaster City for this next spot as we welcome you to the Stonehenge area. Located off of Fruitville Pike, there's easy access to anywhere in Lancaster, and you're close to basically everything. The Stonehenge neighborhood is actually two different neighborhoods, and they can be separated by Old Stonehenge and New Stonehenge, and they are on either side of Fruitville Pike, which is a main access point north-south heading out of Lancaster City. So currently right now I'm driving through Old Stonehenge, and what this neighborhood can be characterized as some older homes, not necessarily brand new construction, which is a little bit different than what we see in the New Stonehenge area. These homes are wildly ranging anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 square foot homes topping over $1 million, to more modest homes that are somewhere around the 2,000 to 3,000 square foot range. And generally speaking, though, most of the lots are about the same. They're right around an acre. Some of these homes are sitting on several acres. Again, these homes themselves have a lot of charm. They've got a ton of character to them, and each one is extraordinarily unique in its own way. There are some incredible homes that have amazing architecture. So even just a drive through this neighborhood is just a lot of fun, because you can, you know, see what there is to offer and see some of the stylings of these homes. Now, interestingly enough, this Old Stonehenge has a new component to it. So when it comes to new construction in Stonehenge, both old and new, it's generally dominated by three different custom home builders: Costello, we got Cimarron, and also Greystone Construction. Now, in the Old Stonehenge, Greystone Construction has its own neighborhood, and as of right now, it is still continuing to build lots, and that's what we're driving through right now. So these are custom homes that are here in the Old Stonehenge area. So if you're interested in building a custom home, but still being in the Manheim Township School District and in a general really great area to be in, you can't go wrong with this Greystone neighborhood that's being built currently in Old Stonehenge. Crossing over Fruitville Pike takes you into New Stonehenge, same area, but a completely different feel. And one thing you'll find that's definitely different from Old Stonehenge to New Stonehenge is the fact that the homes here are a lot newer. That's why it's called New Stonehenge. Most of these homes that are built in this area are either being built right now, as you can kind of see behind me, with some construction dumpsters and things like that, as a new home is going up right now. But generally within the last 15 to 20 years, most of these being custom built homes, and most of them being built by Castello Builders, which is another of the top tier custom builders right here in the Lancaster County area. Now, what you'll also notice between Old Stonehenge and New Stonehenge is that the lots are smaller, the homes are tighter together, and generally it's a little bit more accessible too when it comes to price points. Price points in Old Stonehenge can go well over $1 million, particularly if you're planning on building a custom home in that Old Stonehenge area. Now, if you're looking in New Stonehenge, there are currently homes on the market in this neighborhood for about the mid 500s. And so you can get a newer style home with lots of space, at least within the house itself, and in a great safe neighborhood with a lot of other families that are generally in this area too. So from that perspective, it makes the neighborhood extremely desirable. It's very walkable, lots of open sidewalks, and you know, each home going from home to home is a little bit different. There's some charm, there's some character, even though the homes themselves are a little bit newer. Now, one thing about both Stonehenge neighborhoods is they sit adjacent right next to our last stop on the list, so let's get to it. Having the distinguishing factor of being the only gated community in all of Lancaster County, Bent Creek is a wonderful neighborhood in this area and is our last stop on the list of top most requested neighborhoods. So Bent Creek is definitely one of the more premier neighborhoods right here in Lancaster County. As mentioned before, it's the only gated community here in our area. It has a great location, somewhat close to Lancaster City. You could hop, skip, and jump to get to downtown for a great dinner if you'd like. But at the same time, you can also be a little further out from that. And about a stone's throw from here are some country markets that aren't far. So the farmland, the Lancaster County that it's famous for, is certainly in this area as well. Now, what you'll find in Bent Creek is a little bit of a mix of homes. Now, some of these homes are a little newer, but most of them are a few decades old. So we'll say somewhere in the 20 to 40 year old range. But there are some absolutely incredible houses here in Bent Creek. Generally speaking, though, you are not going to find huge lots. It's going to be 3/4 acre or less, in some cases probably less than 1/2 of an acre. But at the same time, you're in a neighborhood and a development where you're typically not seeing people that want to be spread out from each other. There's a cohesive feeling of neighborhood, certainly, in this development. And it really intertwines in with the golf course itself, the country club, Bent Creek Country Club. Now, as a person or a homeowner in this neighborhood, you will have an HOA fee that does not include a membership to the golf course. In fact, if you would like that, there are social memberships, there are golf memberships that can be added on to. Bent Creek Golf Course Country Club, it's a really nice course if you're a golfer. And generally speaking, though, the homes and the neighborhood in here, most of the homes that are going in here probably going to be in the price range of about $800,000 or higher. There are some that sell in here for well over $1 million. But at the same time, there's also an area where there aren't these single family detached homes that are 3 to 4 to 5,000 square feet. There are some smaller condos, townhouses that are in this neighborhood as well, and those price ranges are lower. They start somewhere around the 350 to 400 range and then go up from there. So it is an accessible neighborhood. You don't necessarily have to have $1 million budget in order to get into this neighborhood, but definitely a very nice neighborhood all in, and it is closing our list of the top 6 neighborhoods right here in Lancaster County. Okay, that's it. That's a tour of the top 6 neighborhoods right here in Lancaster County. And if you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like this video, give the little thumbs up, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're making a lot of content, all things Lancaster, and we'd love for you to get in contact with us there, where you can learn more about what Lancaster has to offer, search all of our videos and everything there. And of course, as I promised at the beginning of the video, we have more contact information for you if you'd like to reach out to us to help you achieve your real estate goals. Again, here is the direct contact info. Call, text, email, hold us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. We are helping people all the time that are moving here to the Lancaster area or relocating within the county and city borders. And if that's you, we'd love to help you. We love it. We absolutely love hearing people's stories and talking to them about their real estate goals. Here's our website, themoregrouplancaster.com. Check out what we have to offer, who we are as a team, and you can learn more about all the individual members and what we can offer you if you're looking to buy a home in the area or sell your home in the Lancaster and surrounding region as well. If that's not enough, I do invite you to go check out the More Group on Google. Search the reviews. You can read all through them. We've got over 50 5-star reviews and counting. and we'd love to be a resource for you if you have any questions at all. Again, my name is Matt Moore with the Moore Group. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk soon.